Good day everyone, I'm Marian Bringuelo together with my partner Iris Chico. We are pleased to present a study titled Inclusive Education in Early Childhood, Teacher Perceptions, Practices, Challenges, and Needs by Fatma Balik and Oskan Osgon. This research examines the realities of implementing inclusive education in early childhood settings, focusing on how preschool teachers perceive it, the challenges they face, and what they need to move forward. Inclusive education is more than just integrating students with different needs. It's about transforming the learning environment to embrace diversity, as Pijal and colleagues in 1997 and Slee in 2018 suggest. It requires educational systems to be flexible and adaptive, ensuring all learners have equitable access to quality education. Early exposure to inclusive practices has a significant impact. Smith in 2006 and Gupta et al. In 2014 emphasized that when children interact in diverse classrooms early on, they develop empathy, acceptance, and a stronger sense of community. Yet, Davis and Florian in 2004 argued that the real issue isn't the children's differences, it's the educational systems in the accommodate those differences that often leads to labels and exclusion. Despite the philosophy behind the teachers at the preschool level face, at the preschool level real barriers. Una, naladag in 2020 highlight language barriers as a persistent challenge, especially in multicultural classrooms. Moreover, research by Akbolot et al. In 2021 and Tuscoglo and Aydin in 2023 points out that many preschool teachers lack confidence in their ability to effectively deliver inclusive educations. This lack of preparedness often results in hesitation or inadequate support for learners with varying needs. To examine these issues, the researcher employed a qualitative phenomenological design. This approach helps uncover the lived experiences of teachers, what inclusion looks like in practice, how they interpret it, and how the daily realities they face. 15 preschool teachers were selected through purposive sampling. All participants were working in state-run preschools under the Ministry of National Education in the Central District of Diyarbakir in Turkey. These educators were chosen specifically for their experience with inclusive education. Data was collected through semi-structured interviews guided by open-ended questions. This format allowed teachers to freely share their stories and concerns and gave researchers deeper insights into the nuances of inclusive teaching. The process was ethically grounded, participation was voluntary, informed consent was obtained, and all interviews were video recorded with the teacher's permission to protect their identities, and each teacher was assigned a pseudonym like S1, S2, and so on. So, once the interviews were transcribed, the researchers engaged in thematic coding. They carefully read and reread the transcripts to identify patterns, phrases, and emerging themes. This process helped them define the key concepts and categorize the data in a meaningful way. So the next part of the presentation will walk you through the findings, highlighting the three major themes that emerged from the study. So, Chico, Iris.
So good evening. So we now move into the findings of this research. So the researchers identified three main themes. These are the perceptions on inclusive education, practices and challenges in inclusive education, and third, further training in inclusive education and needs among preschool teachers. So next slide. So for the first things, perceptions on inclusive education, researchers explored perspectives of the teachers about the understanding of inclusive education. So these are the education for all, considering stakeholders, environmental adaptation, ideal environment for inclusive education. So most of the teachers believe in the idea of inclusion, but they often associate it only with special education. So the second theme, the practices and challenges in inclusive education. So the teachers practices include education plan, collaboration with families, but they are facing challenges like lack of materials and staff, high class sizes, limited training, parental resistance. So, although many teachers, according to the statement, many teachers have some form of training, it's mostly about integration, not full inclusion. Teachers want to have a practical hands-on workshop, supportive mentorship, and more knowledge about special needs and diversity. So for the third themes, the further training in inclusive education and needs among preschool teachers. It covered current training and training gaps, the need for practical skills and application and resources and external support. Although most have received training in inclusive education primarily through integrative education programs, they express a need for more comprehensive and practical training. So for their recommendations, the researchers recommend expand teacher training in inclusive practices, improve classroom resources, and reduce class sizes, engage families as active partners, clarify the scope of inclusion to avoid conflicting with special education. So addressing these gaps through targeted teacher training and professional development, improving physical classroom conditions, and fostering stronger support from parents and stakeholders is essential for achieving truly inclusive educational environment. So through these steps or recommendation, it will help ensure that all students, regardless of their background or abilities, can benefit from inclusive, equitable education. So that's for our presentation for this research for inclusive education.